Hello and welcome back to Orphan Khan. So today we've had announced the first steps of Curse City moving into Warcry. Now it's not a strong link, and if you're not going to buy Curse City, you'll still be able to use this information so as you can play a narrative campaign. Now I'm not going to give you all of the details, you can get that from the Warhammer community website, but I'm going to give you what I think are the highlights as well as an overall generalisation of what we've got. So we've got a campaign called A Fool's Trove in Orphan Khan. It's a 4-player campaign and it's got 4 battles within it. Each warband is going to be a set of treasure hunters and they're going to be looking through our Orphan Khan for a ruined estate. So the first thing I like is a rule called Nightfall, and what that is it's a day and night mechanic brought into Warcry. At the start of the first battle round, the player with the initiative is going to roll a d3, and that will determine how many battle rounds are going to be played during the day. Once those are up, whatever's left is going to be played at night, and each scenario consists of 4 battle rounds. So basically you play normally in the hours of day, and at night the restless undead come out and they start to mess around with the gameplay in the same way as other restless undead and chaotic beasts do, and that kind of thing as well. You just need to note that this mechanic replaces your twist card. Now we'll take a look at the restless undead that we've got here in a little bit more detail in a minute, but basically if you don't have these, you can use any restless undead that were in the Tome of Champions and that kind of thing if you've got those models. But those are the only things that are being introduced into the game from Curse City. So you don't need Curse City to play it, but these individual models, and we'll have a good look at them in a minute, these individual models are there, but like I say, you don't have to use them, you can substitute them with something else. There's an updated injury table to use, which will replace the one that's in the book. In between battles, players can decide if they're going to send any of their characters into the night, and basically that means that this table that you're rolling here will either give you a benefit or something bad will happen. So it's a kind of a 50-50 really. For the most part, you're either going to return empty-handed or get some small treasure and that kind of thing, but there are genuine possibilities to either influence your game in a good way or a bad way. Now there's no specific rules for the models in the game in terms of being able to use them as characters in your warband or anything like that, but now we'll just have a quick look at this restless undead because some of them are very interesting. In terms of the ability table, there's only one shown on this scenario. However, if you want to go back to your Tome of Champions 2020, there are 2 other restless undead abilities. Now it doesn't explicitly mention if those are to be included in this one, but I guess if you check with the people you're playing with, if they're happy to include the ones from the Tome of Champions, then you should do that as well. But this is a decent ability as well, so it basically just allows us to take a bonus attack with the Restless Undead. If that results in an enemy being slain, it means you get to populate the board with even more Restless Undead. So we'll start with the skeletons. They're pretty lightweight. They've got a movement of 3 inches, they've got a toughness of 4, and they've only got 8 wounds. In attack, they're not terrific either. The guy with the sword, he's got 3 attacks on a strength 3, doing 1 and 3 damage. The one with the spears, very similar, but obviously an extra inch range and does a little bit more damage on the crits. Deadwalker zombies, again, pretty poor. 10 wounds, movement of 3, with a toughness of 4. 1 and 4 damage, only 2 attacks on a strength 3. What we should be scared of in this game, the Kosgari Night Guard. They got a movement of 4 and a toughness of 4, but 30 wounds, a 2-inch range, only dealing 2 attacks, but on a strength 5, doing 2 and 5 damage. Now if you look over on the right hand side of these cards, you'll see the furthermost skull with a number on its head. That is a threat limit, and so basically there's a mechanic within the scenario which will basically call out those numbers, which is going to basically cause how difficult the gameplay is going to be. Now here is a real surprise for me, the Corpse Rats. Movement of 6, they've only got a toughness of 1 and they've only got 8 wounds, but they do 6 attacks. It's only a strength 2 and it's only 1 and 2 damage, but that is a lot of attacks. So that is one, a minor surprise there. And then finally, with no real surprises, we've got the Bat Swarm. So movement of 8, toughness of 1, 6 wounds only, 3 attacks on a strength 3, doing 1 and 4 damage on a crit, which is significant. Now, as awesome as all this stuff is, it's not really what we want for the Warcry crossover. What we want is the ability to use all of our characters and all of those enemy leaders in Warcry. I really can't wait for those to come out, those rules to come out. Now, I'm sure that they'll probably come out at some point over the next couple of weeks, hopefully next week before we actually get the game, because I'd like to get a few games in of Warcry as soon as possible. But there's no doubt about it, as we get closer to the launch of Curse City, we're starting to see a few more cool things. Now, I haven't been reporting on every article that comes out for Curse City. I didn't want to overdo it on the channel and block it up with just one game. However, we will no doubt get a lot more information next week, and the article that came out earlier today, which is to do with individual tiny missions within scenarios for the core game for Curse City, looks absolutely fantastic. I really cannot wait for that. However, I will have lots more content once the game is actually released. So it is going to be not a massive thing for the channel going forward, but something I'm certainly looking forward to, and I will report on going forward. Now, just before I go, I just wanted to say another huge, massive thank you for anyone who didn't see it in one of my other videos, to all of my subscribers who have been using my Element Games affiliate link. Thanks to you, I have been able to upgrade my audio, and I'll be receiving my new mic next week. So as of probably recording in the middle of next week, hopefully you will recognize a big increase in quality for my audio in my videos. I know that since the very beginning of the channel, audio has always been a problem. It's not been great, but it is something that's being addressed. And I just want to say thank you very much to my supporters on that, because they have helped me to make that happen. But that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed already and you enjoyed this content, please consider doing so. And I'll see you all very, very soon. Take care.